In the Southwest, many of our forests are far denser than they were historically, making them more vulnerable to high-severity wildfire. So, how do we restore resilience within these forests while managing costs and also minimizing our impacts? One way is through thinning. Mechanical thinning treatments are used here in our southwestern ponderosa pine forest to remove overly thick, dense stands and to target small diameter trees. This reduces fuel loads, leaving behind larger, more fire-resistant trees to try and restore open conditions. Here near Marshall Lake, researchers are testing a different approach to thinning, one that could change how we restore forest and manage fuels on the ground.
Today we're here off Lake Mary Road, and we're at the Marshall Lake Fuel Reduction Project. What ERI is doing out here is we're trying to conduct a productivity and cost study of a cut-to-length harvesting system. The cut-to-length harvesting system is unique in that it uses a different kind of method than what we typically do here in the Southwest. For a cut-to-length system, we use a harvester machine. The harvester comes out and it actually cuts the trees. Then it's going to drop those trees, fell them, and process them directly at the stump. And then that means that the branches, limbs, and tops and all those pieces are going to get left here on the ground. And what we traditionally use is a whole tree cutting system. In a whole tree system, a feller buncher will cut the trees, pile them, and then a skidder will come along and drag those trees back to a landing. The trees will then be processed, and all of those branches, limbs, and slash will be generated into a larger pile. That pile then needs to be chipped or it needs to be burned at that landing to remove that excess biomass. The big difference here with a cut-to-length system is that that slash is actually going to be left out here on the unit, but then it's going to be masticated and chipped. A masticator will come along and basically chip that slash up and turn it into wood chips that then gets kind of broadcast out and left on the landscape. Here the unique part of this is that the slash will just be left on site, but it won't be left in this configuration where it becomes a fuel hazard. It'll be chipped down to where it will incorporate back into the forest. So this creates a new, innovative, and kind of unique way to manage that slash that avoids that extra cost of having to transport that material off-site or the smoke or the ecological piece of like burning it in a pile. We're trying to get an idea of what is the productivity for this and what is almost like the cost per acre or the cost for this unit to kind of treat this using this alternative cut-to-length harvesting method. Behind me here we have a unit that was just recently harvested. So the harvester came through, it's taken down the trees, and what it's done is set each tree aside. What will happen next is the forwarder machine will follow along after the harvester. It'll then pick up these logs, transport them to the landing. Now a lot of these logs might go down to Phoenix to be turned into pallets, or they might go to firewood. The leftover slash is then what will be masticated. And they'll come along after that. That'll be the last treatment piece, so that at the end of the project, there shouldn't be any material left out here on the site. So far, this is the first project that we've kind of done on the Coconino National Forest using a cut-to-length system with this sort of slash management. Typically, cut-to-length is used more up in the Pacific Northwest. And the reason for that is out there when the tree is processed, those limbs and branches can stay on the landscape where you might have more precipitation. But we just don't have that option here in the Southwest with our dry forest. What you'll see out here once this whole project is completed is hopefully a much more open forest stand where we've removed a lot of the fuels here. The nice thing is this will then protect this landscape so that if a fire does move in here, we've removed a lot of the density and the thickets of trees. This protects the community. Right above us, we have kind of a large recreation area. Marshall Lake's a popular place in the summertime for folks to go camping. And this is really just downslope from all of those areas. So the idea here is we're restoring this section, but this is part of a bigger project that covers over 2,000 acres all surrounding Marshall Lake.